Hello and welcome to another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, of another furry visual novel. This one, Cleaved, a game about, as I bring up the synopsis, Cleaved follows the story of a prestigious scientist who find themselves torn from their reality amidst a meltdown of their work. Such an unforeseen instant splits existence itself, and the residual damage should obliterate any life caught within the blast. Yet, the scientist survives against all odds and awakens in lands unknown, their minds barren and confused. Throughout this story, take the identity of a scientist to recover the pieces of your memories and find yourself thrusted deep into society never thought to be realistic by scientific standards. Furries. Build friendships, uncover secrets, explore the land, all to one day return home to the world you were ripped from. I mean, why would you? You're in the furry world. Anyways, before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, then you can go to Patreon, where it's $3.50 a month. Also, if you want me to do a Let's Play series of this, tell me, and I'll give it a point, which will put up higher on the user's choice list. And also, what else? If you want me to do a quick look of any other game, then tell me, and I'll give it a point and put it in the quick look thing. So, reset face. And start this game that I chose because, Haps drew it, and I like Haps' drawings. Art. Warning, warning, danger detected. Alarm raised in lab sub-level 3. Reactor something. Warning, warning, danger. I'm forcibly awakened from my sleep. I hear the alarm ringing off in the distance, an incessant siren to notify all personnel on site of immediate accident. I fall from my unmade bed, scrambling to grab some clothing. I quickly slip on a shirt, trousers, shoes, and add my glasses. As I run to the door, I grab my lab coat and finally step outside of my cramped room. While the university may have been large, it was certainly not generous with student housing. Wait. Is it like a future school or something like that? Because I don't think a regular university would have things that would... This isn't Half-Life. Like, at best we'd have a, electron microscope, which is pretty neat. I liked using that. I'm a scientist. Thankfully, it didn't take me long to rush past the security doors and other frantic students and personnel. They were either trying to escape the premises or direct the flow of traffic out of the building. Most students took the instructions easily. Unfortunately for me, I'm not most students. My fellow students can only imagine what kind of accident has occurred to set off the alarms at our prestigious university, yet this curiosity does not deter them. The students of Rockford Hills are handpicked by the dean of the university, as they seek gifted individuals and cultivate projects with the greatest potential. I am fortunate enough to count myself among these students. I am even more fortunate that my chosen field of research is one that has received a lot of press from both my colleagues and my professors. I was happy to have my colleagues to be so interested in the success of my project. However, it quickly turned into a necessity rather than a passion. And maybe my work became less about furthering my own ideas, and more about others deciding the results of what I did. Man, bad science. As miserable as I've been, falling more and more into the cesspit that they created with this incessant urge to check off their lists, I guess I was happy to know that it was nearly done. However, this knowledge made the current situation all the more infuriating. The second I thought I was finally into something, my work was about to blow up in my face. Literally. Fortunately, I finished my long run from the east side of the student housing and finally make it to the physics center. Looking around, the open foyer, an abundance of scattered papers and upturned office equipment meet my gaze. The building's been completely evacuated. Come on, I have to make it. My throat burns from yelling that I make it to the elevator door, slamming my fist into the panel. Sublevel 3. Gotta get there fast. Shit. As abundant as the word is, redundant. It's all I can say as I'm faced with the situation before me. Guys, what did you do? You didn't divide by 0 again, did you? In the center of the room stands my machine, a construct made with the intention of exploring the furthest edges of reality. What kind of budgets do you think universities get for science? It cost me almost everything here. Time, space, money, friendships. But there it was. And, as I suspected, something's wrong. Why did people touch my stuff again? How'd this happen? I made sure to shut it down. There shouldn't be power in any of the segments. Suddenly, like a macabre puppet show, loose objects get yanked into the air and are consumed by the ever-growing expanse of a wormhole. Okay, shit. The emergency shutdown switch. It's the only thing that can override whatever is powering. My train of thought derails as ceiling panels fall down and are absorbed into the growing mass before me. It's getting stronger. My careful planning was replaced by frantic movements, my limbs moving on autopilot to salvage my pride and joy. The longer I take, the worse it'll get. I rush over to the main console and unlock the generator room. An admittedly dusty room, one I never cared to clean. Pushed myself inside, I grabbed a breaker switch and moved to deactivate the machine's primary power supply. What the? Auxiliary power? My machine had an emergency backup power in the event of blackout, connected to a separate generator. Okay, it's kinda making me dizzy. You're getting very sleepy. Ooh. Anyways, this was so it could draw the necessary power during tests, though it's always left off when it's not being used. The emergency power switch has been turned on. My heart sinks. I burst into a sprint to the other circuit breaker. Gripping the handle, I wrench it down to shut off the machine. Nothing. My machine isn't turning off. It's still sparkling, creating alert after alert. Danger detected. I retreat to the main console, slipping down in defeat as I stare at the marvel I'd created. Now, the image of a nightmare. I can't stop this cataclysm. The wormhole has accumulated too much energy. Where did it all go wrong? How did it all go wrong? I stare into the cause of my imminent demise. My mind wanders off to a string of thoughts. How big is the explosion gonna be? If I ran away, would I even get far enough to escape it? Am I gonna die? It makes my back shiver and my eyesight become cloudy. Damn it, am I crying? Through blurry vision, I look around the room, thinking back to all the memories I made with my colleagues. I think back to Wally's ideas on how to design global telecommunications that wouldn't rely on satellites. I remember how Catalin would show me her progress on genetically engineering bacteria to add brain development and controlled mutation. She said it was her attempt at curing diseases. And then Sanders. Never spoke to him too much, but he was a true scientist. The crazy bastard was doing his best to combine various dangerous elements to see if he could create an infinite renewable energy source. I remember when I met everyone. It was a big series of highs and handshakes, except Sanders. What did he say back then? Is Sanders going to be the problem? I understand that we'll be working in Lab 16 together, correct? I know that my work is very dangerous. I've requested there be a lockdown button installed on the inside and outside of this lab. It will lock down the blasted room in the event of an explosion. The materials are designed to absorb kinetic energy, so while there's no guarantee, it should help. Why is there one on the inside? In case we can't get out and need to play the hero, that's why. You can't change someone else's life unless you're willing to sacrifice your own. Wise words, Sanders. A tad too pessimistic for my liking, but wise words nonetheless. A heavy scratching sound drags me back to the thoughts of better times. I duck out of the way as the catwalk above me is torn from its hinges and dragged across the floor towards the portal. I guess I don't have a choice. Sanders' mantra comes to the forefront of my mind. I dry my tears, snapping myself back to reality. Something needs to be done, right? While there may be no guarantee, I can at least engage the lockdown. There's a chance of mitigating it. I use the desks as braces and force myself over the wall to the wall. Reactor overload. Collapse imminent. Fuck! Come on! With one final push, my fists meet the lockdown button. Metallic shutters drop across the doorways, windows, and walls, sealing me in this tomb. Reactor overload. God, help me. It's cold. Wait, it's cold. Why is it? How? So, by starting off the reactor's power system early, you get involved to try and stop it, and you set off a new chain of events. Hey, wait a second. Are you awake? Well, this was unexpected. Listen, I don't mean to interrupt, whatever this is, but I need you to do something for me. This chain of events is getting more and more stretched thin. With all due respect, you might be on the verge of losing yourself. Before you doze off, I need you to remember your name, for both of us. It's blank. Brian. Or Bryn? Brian. So, that's what your name is. It's been so long, I honestly couldn't remember. Regardless, I don't really care for much else, nor do I know what's about to happen to you. However, this should be interesting to watch, so don't die too quickly. My eyes jolt open, and my gaze spins wildly around in this strange, unfamiliar place. The Adest Reverse. I'm still not entirely sure what happened. I gauged the lockdown time, right? Then the reactor exploded, and I saw a bright light. Throbbing pain surges in my head, and I struggle to remember it all. Damn it, what the hell happened? The explosion should have killed me. I should be dead, but I'm here. Wherever here is. I felt pointless thinking of it. I looked down my body. My tattered clothes revealed not the slightest hint as to why I was still alive. And then I felt it. My breathing hitches. The sensation of cold grasping my body combined with my own anxiety. I can barely think straight. I'm hyperventilating. A numbing cold was unbearable. It felt like death. Come on, keep it together, damn it. I'm to whatever god there is, that this is a nightmare, or potentially a delusion of a fractured psyche. All I can think to do is repeat bits of information I knew to keep myself together. I pull the weathered remains of my coat together, heaving to keep myself warm as I snap back to reality. Heaving? I can't fight off the cold dread any longer. It's so cold out here. So cold. And everything fades away as consciousness leaves me. Are we on the right over there, or are we in, like, where our POV is? Because it seems something happened. I stir. I hear strange sounds of birds. An uncanny and unfamiliar chorus of chirping and tweets fill my ears, and I can't help but groan. I wake up and launch myself up onto my feet, despite my better conscience. Light-headed, I fall to my knees, use my hands to stabilize myself on the ground. Trying once again, only this time much slower, I stand up and look around confused. I'm in a clearing of a forest. Seeing the sun in the sky, shining through the gap in the canopy above me, was comforting. The nightmare of being trapped in that cold space, which had felt so real, now felt like an illusion. However, that cold place, was any of it real? If so, I can't remember why I'm in these woods. Am I forgetting something? Panic creeps up my spine as I climb up to the bank of a small crater-like divot I find myself in. The grass presses up against my skin, a nice break from the feeling of nothingness that surrounded me before. The air is cold, bitter even. It's not unbearable, but given the current state of my clothes, they don't do much to keep me warm. Okay, I need to get my bearings. I examine my glasses, checking the lens for damage. Damn, there's a fair crack, but I reckon I could still use these. Oh, wait. I begin to slap each of my pockets, eventually finding a hard rectangular shape in my right pocket. My phone! Oh, thank God. I turn it on, ignoring the cracked screen until I notice black blotches of parts of it. Damn, really took a beating from that fall. I must have landed on it when I was in that hole. Could a slip really do that much damage? How hard did I hit the ground? Before my mind can race further, I decide to check out if my phone's app are still available. Signal. Fuck. Suppose it still functions as, well, a phone. Flashlight, camera, notepad. It's better than nothing. The timer reads 000, January 1st, 1917. It reset. Okay, that's not right. I take a look around me before heading north, or at least in the direction I believe is north. With some luck, I could find a vantage point where I could get a signal or see a building nearby. Maybe a cabin, or if I was lucky, I'd find how far I strayed from town. Or, if I was really lucky, I'd find my dorm and colleagues who would explain to me what the hell just happened. Shortly followed by their expression of how worried they were and questions of where the hell I'd been. To my dismay, there was none of that. What in the world's going on here? My panicked voice does nothing to hide my timidness as I sink back against a tree, trying to catch my breath. Okay, calm down. Right, this is Disney World. I look out to the town in front of me. There's no way I'm chancing staying out in the woods for a night in this place, whatever that may be. To avoid falling over, I carefully make my way down the hill. The woodland brush is thick. The trees are large and overgrown. Evidence of the rich life they led was situated in these lands, providing cover for the shrubbery underneath to grow and develop into a lively ecosystem. It's rather peaceful, save for my own pants cutting across the sands of nature. I can see my breath appear in front of me with each thick exhalation. A reminder of just how cold it truly is. I really need to get something warmer. This damn coat is really not going to last in these conditions. I reach the bottom of the hill, my eyes dart about the surrounding vegetation to see if there is a direct path out of the tree line. To my shock, there isn't. But in this field of shrubs, a lot of flora is familiar. Nettles, clovers, nothing too out of the ordinary, considering the types of foliage you find on university grounds. Although there are specks of blue among all that piques my interest. I look closer to see a blue flower that I was not all familiar with. Sometimes, something like this would have grown naturally on university grounds, and its tall bloom must mean it's in season. Surprising, considering the temperature. I picked one and examined the blue petals up close. It is your beauty, and it's your beauty. Something that wouldn't be ignored by a florist, perhaps. Although, for another time, maybe, I discard it, continue to walk out of the forest. As my legs stumble over the overgrown roots of trees, my eyes are glued to the sky, trying to see if I can get a good glance of the sun through the canopy. I can only guess that sometime around midday, judging by the shadows, meaning I've missed the whole morning. Coincidentally, it would also mean stomach growls. Oh, I miss breakfast. An audible groan escapes my lips as I add hungry to my list of personal problems. With nothing better to do, I contemplate foraging for berries or other foodstuffs. But not when to disturb my stomach with a wild berry, to which I don't know the effects of. It's best to consider alternative options. I'm so deep in thought that I don't clock my head whacking against a thick leg wound caused me to tumble and roll forward into an old tree. Setting myself upright, I take my frustration out on the bark, bashing the side of my fist into it, only for pain to smash into my skull, leaving a nasty ache. Fuck you, tree! I finish, rub my head in pain, and glare at the ground, wanting to see what the hell hit me. It's an apple. Yellowed, almost golden actually, a bit bruised and clearly unripe, but an apple nonetheless. I'm sorry, Twee. I was very mean to you and you gave me food. I take a bite, the skin flaking in my mouth as the familiar sour taste coats my tongue. Tart. Very tart. But it's better than starving. I stand up, appreciating my changing luck, and continue on my march. But, again, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Okay. Brian, what do you remember? I remember heading to my research lab. Something there blew up. A big flash of lights. I almost froze to death. A poor voice and more bright lights distracted me. Another sigh escapes me. Yeah, because that all makes sense. God, I sound like I'm belong in a fucking institution. Let's just hope this is a vivid dream. I exit the tree line and find a well-worn path that leads to a gate I'd seen from the hillside. Another minute or so, and I noticed myself getting closer and close to the city. Oh, so I guess, the furries and the people who run, the Renaissance Festival have combined into one big con. A few shops and stalls they have outside these walls seem abandoned, rickety, unkept, and a few wooden frames clearly rotting. No one occupies them, and there's no commotion out front, yet their equipment remains placed. Weird. Also, what is up with this beam of light on the pillar? Seeing no one at the gate, I press onward, walking through the old stonework. It's rather impressive to see. The stones are put together with some sort of high-quality concrete or mortar. That's when my eyes turn wide, as I see some of the pedestrians walking in the streets. They were tall and hairy, with tails? I look down at the apple, questioning if the odd flavor had something to do with what I'm seeing. My panicked expression draws attention from one of these creatures, not even 2 meters away from me. Gods of the realm, what is that? Guards! Guards, come quick! Might put the audio just a bit higher. Boop. There we go. We'll see. I immediately back away as I see a crowd form. Mothers holding back their children, men giving me disgusted looks, and young lads who are simply puzzled. Oi, beast! You better have one of those nasty paws of yours raised by the count of 3, or I'm gonna gut you. I let out a gasp as I finally get a good look at these beasts' faces. Muzzles, long fur, and, in this case, a nasty, intimidating snarl, not unlike that of a wolf. Also, good thing these people speak the king's English. As if on instinct, I follow their commands, in a somewhat ironic scenario, swiftly raise my hands to look less threatening. I watch them slowly press in, walking towards me in a driven way. Whoa, please! I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just lost and looking for... Quit your bloody rambling, freak. On your knees. You're going to the dungeon. I freeze up, honestly scared of what these beasts are gonna do with me. Hey! Before I can say any more, I am interrupted by a loud, thundering sound of feet hitting the ground in rapid succession. I look to my right, and within seconds, a flash of orange streams past my eye. A slim figure quickly jumps into the air and delivers a swift kick to one of the guards' faces, sending him back away from me. The other guards go in a rush this unknown person. He quickly presses his feet hard in the ground and launches himself backwards, away from the pursuer, and in my direction. Come with me if you want to live. That's when I see that his feet were no ordinary human, but instead a set of paws, different from men who tried to arrest me. They're smaller and different color. Oh, maybe a fox. I take this opportunity to look up his slender frame. His long legs lead up to a muscular but heavily protected torso, a free-flowing tail, and that sits at his behind, and to top it off, a face that could barely even get a glimpse of. I can see 2 pointed ears, blazing in color, glorious like the sun itself as it contrasted the shroud. Listen, friend, I have no idea who you are, but I suggest you book it. He spoke quickly, but in a sense of urgency that let me know I was in true danger if I stayed here any longer. Before I can even think about making a break for it, his arm falls down to his side and grabs something off his belt. He raises it to the sky and throws it to the ground with considerable force. releases some sort of thick layer of smoke that covers the open space in seconds. Run! You even think about running, runt, and I'll make sure that whatever hell I was going to do with you earlier is 10 times worse. Fear quickly sinks in as I realize I was faced with a choice that could have put my life in serious danger. Do I follow this unknown stranger in hopes of securing shelter and maybe even find a way back home? Or is it better to stay put and do what the guards ask me to avoid putting a target on my back? What should I do? Well, we should probably follow the stranger. What would be if we pick the other one? Okay, same sounds. Acting on sheer impulse, I decide to follow the stranger. Regardless of the guard's threats, I'd much rather trust a somewhat friendly face trying to give me an out. I've broken away from my thoughts as I watch him turn his heel and begin sprinting. I take this as a cue to run, and I break into a sprint to chase after my rescuer. Also, question: I would feel like these animal people would be faster than us. Also, we're a scientist, not an athlete. Who are you? Name's Frazier. I also have a television series. Sort of an outlaw in these parts. What the hell is going on here? My lungs are on fire, my speech interrupted by deep breaths as we round a corner after corner. After passing what looks like the market square, we reach a large strip. I'll hazard a guess he did something they didn't like. How is he not even panting? God, I'm out of shape. Does walking through a gate count? Oh ho ho, that's a big no-no. Outsiders with no residency or business inside the walls need some sort of woven companion to use the main gates. Just why the hell is everyone a wolf here anyway? Why the hell are you two? Hey, speak for yourself. And we're not all wolves. I take a bit of offense to that. He lets out a chuckle as he continues to make light work out of our sprint. And that's a stupid question. Do you really not know where you are? Before I get a chance to answer his question, I hear the sounds of footsteps behind me. Against my better judgment, I turn my head to see that one of the guards has slowly began to catch up to me. My eyes go wide as I consider my options. The fox leans in and grabs the apple caper out of my hand. Capper? He then picks up the pace, getting good distance ahead of me. He can go even faster? With the grace of an acrobat, he jumps, spins around in midair to face the guard behind us. Using as much force as possible, he throws the core. I turn to watch its trajectory perfectly aligned with the guard's demented face. He recoils in pain as the momentum is cut short. Falling over and colliding to the ground. Impressed, I turn my head back to look at the fox. He simply shoots me a wink back, before changing the subject. Look, we can save the questions for later. All we need to know is I'm trying to save your arse. Now. As the sounds of footsteps increase, Frazier rounds the final corner and grabs me by the arm, jumping into a hidden alleyway. With quite a bit of ease, he pulls me onto his lap. Ooh-woo. I look at him, but he gives me a look of reassurance. This is both to break my fall and to simultaneously cover my mouth. We sit like that for a good 5 minutes. Oh, hey, I know that this big rotund guy right here is a different character. We sit like that for a good 5 minutes, as the sound of footsteps passes by and slowly begin to fade away. All that can be heard now are the humble sounds of an active market. Birds chirping, sounds of sweeping, day-to-day takes of stock, being shifted around in an exchange for the clashing sound of coins being passed from buyer to seller. Well, I'm ready to move on if you are. I know I'm comfy, but we can't afford to sit here all day. I watch him, and he's looking up at the sky. It's gonna be night soon anyway. Yeah, we can move. Wait, night already? How can you tell? It's winter season, lad. Temperature drops quicker, and then by extension, so does the sun. I give it an hour, 2 at the most. Huh? That's actually pretty impressive. I feel lost right now. What even are you? Not to be rude, and I know I'm probably gonna ask this a dozen times more, but I've never seen something like you, like, ever. Well, I'm human. He slowly gets up and begins stretching. He pops a squat in front of me to properly stretch his legs before standing back up, and do it the same with his, reading gods, arms and torso. Human. Can't say I've ever heard of it. You got a name? My face drops, thinking he might actually know something about me. I sigh and answer. My name is Bryn, or Brian. Brian, huh? It's a pleasure to meet you. But let's get back to business. My ears pick up, and I immediately lift my head. My ears pick? Ears or eyes? Ears, okay. I have some friends outside town, good buddies of mine, who run a tavern in a more open area that isn't infested with guards. Grim is a scholar. He did a lot of traveling before he ended up here. Where exactly is here? He must be dumber than a bag of rocks. Huh. I give a frustrated stare. He simply snickers and stares back at me with an amused smirk, before letting out a sigh. It honestly depends on who you ask. Ask the wolves, and they'll tell you you're in the proud kingdom of Oxhemer, bastard invaders. Though, if you ask any self-respecting person, they'll tell you that we are in the gracious land of Caledonia. Man, I mean, I get Haps isn't... I don't think Haps is part of the Echo Project besides an artist, but man, Dastra and this gamer's like, wolves are kind of assholes, you know? It seems like a sore subject for him to talk about, so I decide not to push the details any of the matter. I don't know what's up with reading yawns. Maybe I'm too much air going to woods and not enough to reading, or breathing. Recent face. Okay, so what's the plan? If we're moving, where are we going? We need to get you out of the city walls. The way they see it, a possible spy and outlaw of significance gave their elite guards a slip and are currently running rampant. He lets out a frustrated sigh and walks over to the entrance of the alleyway. After seeing the many armed guards patrolling the streets, he tucks his head back in. Okay, if we step out and walk the streets, we're as good as dead. Doesn't help, you're a dead giveaway with those weird pieces of attire. What do you mean weird? You've never seen a shirt before? Not one like that, no. It's tight around the neck, reducing its breathability. It's thin and tears easily, making it impractical in colder climates. Not to mention, it looks downright horrible. That color looks terrible on you. What? You jerk! Feeling slightly offended, I am ready to go off on the fox before he shoots me. Shut up, dumbass. Are you trying to get us caught? My face goes bright red as I realize the detriment we're in. That's when I watch him approach me. He puts his hand on his back, and I assume he's going to pull another tool from one of his many belts. What's a smoke bomb gonna do for us here? My thoughts are interrupted when I see him pull a dagger. Panicked, I back away and he spins his paw at a right angle. Oh, come down, you big Jess. If I wanted to put you out of your misery, I would have done it already. He moves quickly down the alleyway, and I follow him. Below us are a series of tunnels that run under the kingdom. They're used by my allies. He pauses, raising the dagger close to my throat, causing me to go wide-eyed as I feel my body freeze up. You have given me no reason to distrust you, but should I ever find out you're responsible for the discovery of these tunnels, that would put me and my friends in any danger? He plunges the knife downward, and I flinch. I will not hesitate to send you to your god. He spins the knife around, so its handle is facing me, and uses his other paw to offer me a hand up. I do apologize for scaring you, but, well, I had to make sure you were taking me seriously. I take his paw. Fuck, yeah, I took you seriously. I was about to piss myself. He lets out a snicker, shrugging his shoulders as he walks towards the gate. I let out a sigh as he leads me to the entrance hatch. He plunges his knife into the gap and lifts it, popping the grate from its hole, and pushes it to the side. I watch in awe as the fox somehow manages to lift the heavy metal grate with ease. The fox's form is admirable. I can only imagine the impressive physique hidden under his clothing. Gay. Mate. He raises his paw and snaps his fingers to pull me out of my daze. Come on, we've got sewer spelunking to do. I guess I could put the music up a tad. Preference is fan-fucking-tastic. You do it a few times, and you'll get used to it too. He instructs me to go first. I approach and sit down and press my body forward. I fall onto the ladder securing my feet and hands and begin to climb down, listening above for the fox. He slowly follows, popping the cover back in the correct place to conceal our pathway of escape. So, Fraser, where are we heading exactly? Old hideout of mine. I'm gonna try and get you some new attire to help you hide in plain sight. I see. Say, how did you know I had an apple? Pardon? The apple you hucked at the guard's face. Oh, right. I was running on a lot of adrenaline when I did that, but I suppose it's thanks to my nose. Situations like that always have my nose working overtime, and there's no mistaking the smell of an apple you are munching. I see. You must have a real strong nose then. He gets the job done. Another chuckle escapes him before I think about what'll happen next. So, what'll happen after we get to that safe house of yours? Being in the city isn't as safe as you might think, unfortunately. After we get you sorted, we'll see if I can sneak us out by the east gate and get into Old Town. Maybe try and pass you off as some weird naked mole rat. That sounds disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, watch your step. I begin to wonder what he means, as I'm still firmly on the ladder, only feel my foot not connect with the next step. I'm tempted to let out a scream as I fall, but I'm stopped by a splash of water covering my pants as my butt hits the ground. Don't tell me I've just fallen into... I look at the fox snicker as he effortlessly hops down while I prop myself up. That would be sewer water, my furless friend. That's just great. I groan and pick myself up from the ground. He bursts into laughter, holding his gut, and watched me quickly step through the water and back on the paved pathway. Oh, gods above, that's hilarious. I throw him a grimaced look, pouting as I start walking ahead, desperate to get out of this godforsaken place. Alright, pup. Your hilarious misfortune aside, keep going straight, and we should be at the turnoff for the East Market soon. If I've timed this right, the sun should be setting and the stalls should be closing. So hopefully I can nab you some fresh attire. Gods, you stink. I know, asshole. Pfft. How do you think I feel, short ass? I'm the one who got a better nose than you. To be fair, he has a point. Not that I admit it, especially to him. Time passes in the dingy walkway. There's been no trace of the sun, except for the faint crackles of light escaping through holes that covered access to the sewers, as well as the occasional storm drain. I could feel it start to play annoyance on my mind. With the runaway from the pesky guards, another long walk here, I can feel my energy being drained. However, as if he could pick up on my emotion, he spoke. Not much longer now, Bryn. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can do a thing. Translate.
Bryn.
Huh. Okay. I've never heard of Bryn before, so I was like, is it Brian? Oh, Bryn. I've never heard of a Bryn before. I look up to see the dimly lit shade of green that was his hood being covered by darkening shades of orange from the setting sun. Hey, Frage, answer me something, would you? With honesty. I'll do my best. No promises, though. I can see his body tense ever so slightly, as if he was just readjusting his attire after an exhausted walk. Seems like he had shifted his armor into an uncomfortable position. Why did you save me? That's quite a loaded question, but not an impossible one to answer. He makes a sharp turn and proceeds to walk down a new pathway. In truth, it's because of the bastards in power. They've been in control of this place since before I was born. While I won't deny the credit that is due to the architects, the individuals in current power are nothing but entitled, self-centered pricks. It do be like that. The rightful citizens of this kingdom have been left in squalor and hardship, just plagued with constant taxes, harassment, and the forced belief that we should be grateful to the wolves who invade these lands. They just want to live lavish lifestyle without thinking of the consequences that will be paid forward by the people beneath them. I'm taken aback by the strong conviction that escapes the Vulpine's maw. I'm immediately intrigued to know more about what he's talking about. I know your time here has been short, but people like me have been experiencing the kind of harassment you face today for years, and we've never had a chance to combat it. Lucky few are able to get into nicer parts of the city are still scrutinized. And I feel that this kingdom needs individuals that will change these notions and do what's truly best for the people of this land. I like to think I'm one of those individuals. I work with some people in one of the inns in Old Town. I look out for the vulnerable and supply the needy with the necessary items they need to get by. And you, my friend, just happen to be my most recent rescue. He shoots me a wink, and I can't help but blush at his flirtatious gaze, prompting me to let out a nervous chuckle. Well, it's much appreciated, Fraser. Thank you. He quickens his pace as he takes the final turn, and I follow him around the corner. Say, could you tell me more about what will be... there will be a time where I can recall the tales of the Snowball Land and... Snowball Land the wolves came from. But for now, we've reached my hideout, so let's focus on getting ourselves out of this place, and maybe I'll tell you over some hearty drink. His initial frustration was wiped away by the possibility of sharing a drink, something we would certainly use after a day like today. However, my thoughts are interrupted as the fox informs me that we've reached the end of the tunnel system. Okay, so if I've timed this right, we should have the cover of nightfall to conceal our presence. Now listen, when we get up there, I want you to stay right behind me. Use my cloak tails as a cover for as we approach. Now, we're aiming for one of the abandoned houses close to the Eastgate Marketplace. I'm gonna stick you in there, and you're gonna keep out of sight. And what are you going to do while I'm doing all this? I'll be enacting stage 2 of my escape plan. I'm gonna head down to the closing market stalls to see if I can't find you some kind of shawl or a cloak to wrap around that pretty little head of yours. If I'm lucky, I might be able to steal you some kind of garment to replace those ratty rags. I watch his eyes look me up and down. By now, I can tell my clothes are on their last legs, as they are doing little to provide comfort and insulation. My shoes are no better. I can feel the discomfort from my feet, caused by the ripped canvas style material. Yeah, I'm kind of in need of some, but I don't go about pilfering at every store in the lot. But don't go about pilfering yours. There must be some good people there somewhere, hard at work that make an honest living. I wouldn't want to take all that away from them just by being needy. The fox seems gently taken aback, as if he hadn't expected me to disagree with his plan. Nevertheless, he seemed amused about my take, but I didn't want to let it show. Turning away from me, he moved swiftly up the ladder to pop the grate cover out of the socket. As he reached the final step, he extends his paw for me to grab onto and pulls me out and up into the street. That's not a street. The surrounding area we found ourselves in appeared to be some kind of rundown park, covered by overgrown shrubbery and decaying trees. Oh, some would see the lack of care as disrespectful. I couldn't be happier. The night sky, combined with thick plants, act as the perfect cover for us to slip past any guards on patrol, as well as any nearby civilians. And that's why we use the tunnel systems. Satisfied by his own confidence, I return with a gesture of unamusement by rolling my eyes. We're back in the same spot. We pushed on through the gardens and finally made it to the abandoned house that Fraser had initially set out for. We sneak around to the back where the broken window lay in wait. The fox presses back onto the wall, bringing his paws forward and turning them into a cup shape, making a makeshift foot holder for me to use. I quickly move forward and press my foot into his paws as he launches me skyward. With my outstretched arms, I grab the base of the windowsill and hold myself up, prop myself up on my elbows. It was high enough to launch my body through and do an impromptu somersault into the room, but land awkwardly and hurt my backside in the process. Ow! I don't think you have much talent for athletics, mate. Screw you. I rub my back and try to ease the tension and catch a glimpse of Fraser's smug face looking down at me. Yeah, you wish you could. Now remember, it's to keep low, keep quiet, and keep away from the window. I'll be as fast as I can. He shoots me a wink before pulling his hood above his head, turning on heel, and sprinting off in the opposite direction. Damn, he's fast. Now, faced with a moment of rest, I fall over, fully embracing the uncomfortable yet sturdy floor. I press my back up against the wall, similarly to how the fox had held me earlier. Finally alone. Now, faced with the realization I had nothing to distract me from this nightmare, I let out a loud exhale. My constant action and danger had kept me from thinking about anything else. I looked down my arm, specifically the tattered sleeves of my lab coat. With a swift motion, I tear the sleeve off, revealing a slightly scratched and bruised skin underneath. Tossing the remnants of the sleeve aside, I grip my arm and pinch it. Hard. Yet, as my teary eyes proved from the sudden jolt of pain, this truly was no dream. I force another deep exhale and raise my head back, pressing it against the wall in utter defeat. I know I didn't hit my head that hard. There's no chance. There's no chance I'm from here, and there's no chance I'm in the right place. I smack my head to try and jog my memory. I pull a switch. There's a bright light, and then the stupid voice came on as I was plunging in darkness. But what happened after? I was in a building. I couldn't just appear in a field immediately after. God damn it. Why can't I remember anything? Now, the things I can't remember, would that be the stuff that we saw earlier, or did the game leave out gaps? I fall forward, a single tear rolling down my cheek and hitting the floor. I slam my fist into the ground, feeling defeated as the realization sets in. I might not even get out of this kingdom. All you can do is pray that some kind stranger can offer up some assistance as to where I am and where I could go. Maybe get some sort of direction from where I came from. Oh, you will. But give it some time. After all, the game has only just begun. Who said that? I look around in panic, staring off in every possible entrance point to the room. I definitely heard something, but my frantic looks couldn't pinpoint the origin of the sound. I'm not screwing around. Who said that? I'm probably being louder than I should be. My frustration was overtaken any sense of fear my previous spiral had taken me on. I'm not anyone important. Not yet, anyway. The room engulfs in shadow, sounds being erased so I can focus solely on the voice. If you knew everything, the game wouldn't be very fun now, would it? For instance, I could have never pictured you running away from the authority figure like that. I picture you freezing up. My head spins as I feel the presence grow stronger. Just play along for now, dear Brian. All will be revealed in turn. I fall to the floor with a thud, ready to throw up, as the pressure becomes unbearable. It's at that moment, when I think I'm fully lost, my mind, that I hear Fraser's fast approaching footsteps. He dives into the room with his bow drawn and scans it for a possible sight of an intruder. What the nine hells is going on here? I quickly sit up and lean against the wall, pacing myself. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Your instinct was to shout and slam yourself about the place? His frustration is quiet, but it's duly noted by his tone. Gods above. Are you incapable of listening to the most simple instructions unless they're being yelled at you like some kind of military instructor? I understand why. With me getting so emotional, I created the possibility of risking our capture and whatever fate the city's armed forces would decide it for us. I'm sorry. It's the first time I had a chance to stop and just take in what happened to me. I'm hearing these voices and seeing things, and I think I'm going insane. I hang my head in absolute shame, as I truly feel like a broken man. Another tear stained my cheek. I'm not even able to trust myself, and I'm repeatedly let down the man who's trying to save my life. I'm about ready to tell him to just leave me so I'm not a liability to him, but that's when the fox walks up to me and gives me a hug. Look, I get it. You've been in the city for less than a day. So far, you've been chased by a royal guard, then forced through a sewer by a stranger who expects you to put your trust in him, with little to no explanation of what's going on. Well, I can only apologize so much for the last part. But the fact of the matter is, you wound up in some serious hot water. Right now, you need to focus on getting out of it. You're stressed, you're angry, and rightfully so. You're scared. But these are all things we can address later when we're out of here and safe from bastards trying to catch us. Okay? I can feel myself calm down in his presence, taking a series of deep breaths as I process everything. He's right. I need to focus on the here and now before I start pondering on the future. Thank you, Fraser. I needed that. I could tell. Though I wasn't exactly trying to hug you. I was trying to fasten the cloak around your neck so you could set up your disguise. But to each their own. If anything, I'm just glad you calmed down. Smartass. He takes a step back, rolling his eyes and shrugging his shoulders, continuing my good mood with his repeated quips. Is it annoying? Yes. It is charming. In an endearing way? Also yes. No, wait, is it? Yeah. I let him carry on with his alterations of my outfit, and then when the cloak is fully secure, I pull the hood up. The fabric goes just far enough past my face that it makes it very hard to see it, if pointed on the right angle. I'm taken aback by just how long flowing the cloak is. I can feel it brushing against my legs as I pull it around to hide the tattered clothing that felt stuck to my body. There, now we match. He shoots me a wink as he pulls the hood up above his head. What size is this? It's huge. I may have had to steal you one from a stall that specializes in making clothes for bears, but that's not really important right now. You remember the plan? Keep my hood up and my head low. Then, we take the back streets as far as they'll take us before we get to the eastern gate. I keep quiet, you do all the talking, and then we slip past the checkpoint to meet at the rendezvous point. Good boy. I'm actually impressed you got all that. I blush from the comment, but knowing we don't really have time to mess around, I break out of my bashfulness and continue. We probably shouldn't screw around any longer than we need to. Are you ready to move? Let's get you out of here. And with that scene change and us hitting that 1 hour mark, I think that's a good time to call it. I'm liking this game so far. I would like to see more of this game. So anyways, the end of this, let's place a comment, because I like comments, don't you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like me YouTube and like see it go, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to go, but, and please remember to spay and to know your animals to help control the pet population. And if you want me to do a Let's Play series of this game, then tell me, and I'll give it a point which will put up higher on the list. Also, just looking at the images here on the Rich.io page, there's that really rotund guy that was chasing us earlier, and what looks like to be some sort of kind of looks like a wolf guy. He has a white chest, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen all the pictures of this. So yeah, and if you want to play this game, you can get it for free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that make this game, or get the news version earlier, you can go to Patreon, where it is $3.50 a month. But that is still not the end of this Let's Play. Or, side play? Quick look. That's it. Sorry, I'm just doing so many things. It's like, which one is the thing right here? So, put that there. And how many more do we got? 12. Random number generator of destiny, give me a thing. 12. And the number is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. IFS. Can we actually have the name so I could look up the HIO thingamajiggy? There we go. Infinite space. Okay. Ooh, animated. What is going on there? Sorry, I'm just bringing up the thing because I don't know, like, what to have here before doing the stuff. Yeah, it's... Is this gonna be a thing where, like, we're sharing bodies or something like that, or cyborgs? Infinite spaces until it contains mature themes. Da 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 da. Oh, where did I put that? Okay, now description. Infinite Space is a furry visual novel that explores the invasion of a deadly foe. And those that rise up to combat them. Join the ranks of the illustrious knights of the Astrum Union as a squire in training for the cavalry division, the first engagers to incursions and the most respected, but also those that suffer the heaviest losses. Learn, train, and grow with your fellow squires, and discover what it means to love, to heal, and form bonds. This visual novel will show military training, woo themes, with the variety of genders of alien races. With a variety of genders and alien. It's gonna be like, hey, you got straight stuff too? I like straight stuff. I mean, yeah, I like gay stuff. When you have so many furry visual novels and the furry community is like very gay, you're like, yeah, I think add some straight stuff is kind of nice. Get some boobs. Anyways, deal with trauma and recovery. We hope to show the story that breaks a few furry visual novel traditions and gives people a story that, while linear, offers choices to engage in stress relief with any and all of the main cast. You choose if you want to take part. Choose those you want to or don't want to, and be happy by the end that you played the visual novel your way. Let's see. You got what looks like to be a snow leopard, maybe? Wolves or some kind of canids. A dragon. What looks like could be a trash panda with Dr. Octopus things. I'm not sure if that's a girl. They have big oos. Some kind of tiger. And then someone else. But yeah, if you want to play this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, then you can go to Patreon, where it's $5 a month. Also, the last thing, if you want me to, do this or the previous one, there's tell me so I can put on Let's Play. And also, if you have any other furry visual novels you want me to quick look, then tell me. And I will put it on the quick look list and also give it a point. And until next time, another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix of some other game, that being this one. So thanks and see ya.